Welcome to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. One of the greatest tracers of human creativity in the world. Today, we journey back more than 5,000 years. Egyptian art. To explore the wonders of ancient Egyptian art. From royal tombs to sacred temples. We'll uncover the beliefs, symbols, and lives of a civilization that still captivates us to this day. The dawn of Egyptian civilization. We begin with the pre-dynastic period. Symbol pottery, ivory figurines, and early forms. Of hieroglyphs give us our first glimpse. Into the spiritual and artistic walls of the Nile Valley. Even in these early works, we see the seeds of artistic conventions. That will remain remarkably unchanged for millennia. Respect for order, symbolism, and divine power. The Old Kingdom, c. 2686 2181 BCE. Marks the golden age of pyramid building. The museum's collection of wooden models. Here at the Met, we examine life-size royal statues and limestone reliefs one decorating tomb chapels. Stand-out piece, the limestone state of Ankaf. A high-ranking official whose naturalistic face contrasts with the rigid, idealized body posture typical of Old Kingdom art. After a period of instability, the Middle Kingdom, c.k. 2055 to 1650 BCE, ushered in new artistic developments. Culture became more expressive. Rulers like Senesret III and depicted with the furrowed brows and deep-set eyes, reflecting the burdens of leadership. The museum's collection of wooden models illustrates scenes of daily life, offering invaluable context on workers, agriculture, and leisure. The end of isolation, Hyksos, and artistic exchange. During the Second Intermediate Period, Foreign invaders known as the Hyksos introduced new technologies. The Temple of Dondur, such as the horse-drawn chariot. This era shows a shift in style. Egyptian art absorbs elements from the Levant and beyond, blending domestic and foreign motifs. The New Kingdom, circa 1550 to 1070 BCE. Is Egypt at its peak? Monumentality and divinity are on full display. The myth's impressive status of pharaohs, like Hatshepsut and Amenhotep III, embody royal power. Reliefs from temples such as Karnak and Luxor. Show pharaohs making offering to the gods, a key function of Egyptian art. To ensure divine order mat. The revolution of Akhenaten, no period is more visually distinctive than the short-lived Amarna period under Akhenaten. Statues of the pharaohs show elongated lips, prominent stomachs, and androgynous features. The Met's temple stele of Akhenaten. Nefertiti and their daughters demonstrates intimate, royal family scenes, a stark departure from tradition. Akhenaten's monotheistic. Worship of Aten profoundly. Changes artistic expression. After Akhenaten's death, Egypt swiftly returns to its old gods. And and traditional styles, Tutankhamun restores the cosmic order. The Met exhibits iconic artifacts like the golden mask of Tutankhamun, a replica. And funerary items mirroring the belief in immortality and divine protection. Symbols and sacred animals. Egyptian art is rich in symbols. The scarab beetle, the Ankh, key of life, and sacred animals like cats and ibises. Reveal layers of spiritual meaning. Bronze status of the god Horus as a falcon. Or a basket as a cat reflects the Egyptians' reference. For the natural world as a manifestation of the divine. The afterlife in art. Mummification, tomb paintings, and funerary objects. Form one of the core collections at the Met. The museum's reconstructed tomb chapel of Bernep offers a complete immersive experience. Painted scenes of fields and feasts. Were believed to nourish the deceased in the afterlife. The famous book of the dead of Aine shows the weighing of the heart, an essential judgment scene in the afterlife. Decline, transformation, and rebirth. With foreign invasions and shifting power, Egyptian art gradually blends with Greek and Roman styles. Yet, the spirit of Egypt endures. Coptic textiles, late period mummy portraits. And architectural fragments show a continued evolution of Egyptian identity. As we conclude our journey, we realize that Egyptian art is not simply ancient, it is eternal. with every statue, every hieroglyph, and every painted tomb wall. The Met connects us to a civilization whose artistic legacy still speaks. To our fascination with immortality, power, and the afterlife. As I step into the grand halls of the Met in New York City, the atmosphere begins to change. The noise of the city fades behind those tall doors. Replaced by the hush of awe and discovery. Ahead of me lies one of the museum's most mesmerizing sections, the Egyptian art galleries. More than 26,000 objects stretch across time and space. From tiny amulets to towering stone statues. I am about to journey back 5,000 years. Walking through temples, tombs, and treasures that have outlived empires. The galleries are arranged in a timeline. Guiding visitors from Egypt's prehistoric beginnings to its Roman period immediately. I sense the continuity of life and belief. How the ancient Egyptians viewed existence. As an eternal cycle. Life, death, and rebirth. Every artifact tells part of that story. Each color, hieroglyph, and carving speaks the same language of immortality. The earliest cases show pottery from the Nile Valley. Long before the first pharaohs. I pose before delicate handmade vessels. Their surfaces painted with river scenes and abstract patterns. even in these humble pieces. One sees artistic intention. The desire to capture nature's order. These are not just tools. They are expressions of identity and faith. They remind me that art began when humans first felt the urge to make meaning visible. The Old Kingdom and the Age Pyramids. Moving deeper, sculptures of limestone. And diorite introduced the faces of Egypt's first golden age. A seated scribe, eyes inlaid with crystal, gazes eternally forward. His pose seems simple, yet his presence fills the space with calm intelligence. Nearby, the state of nobleman named Demetrius' son. Saitev sits cross-legged, hands poised in readiness. An image of dignity and purpose. The artistry of the Old Kingdom. Is about balance and permanence. Stone was shaped not only to resemble the human form, but to preserve the spirit. The proportions follow a grid system, symbolizing divine order. Standing before these figures, I sense why Egyptian art felt timeless. It wasn't made for the moment, but for eternity. The Middle Kingdom, inner life and humanity. As centuries pass, the sculptures begin to change. The king's faces grow thoughtful, almost weary. Here his son was Red III, his eyelids heavy, mouth tense. Showing the burdens of rule. This realism reveals a deeper psychology. A civilization beginning to question. The nature of power and mortality.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdul Razzak Zaarur. I am artist of art and design and an art curator specializing in your focus, modern art, ancient civilizations, museum collections. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. As a curator, my role is to create meaningful bridges between artworks, their creators, and viewers like you. I work behind the scenes to select research and arrange exhibitions that don't just display art but also tell stories. Every painting, sculpture, or artifact holds a voice, and part of my mission is to make sure those voices are heard clearly and thoughtfully. Throughout my career, I've had the opportunity to work with masterpieces ranging from Egyptian funerary art or 17th to 18th century impressionism to contemporary expressions that reflect our world today. What excites me most is the way art allows us to step into different places, times, and perspectives without ever leaving the gallery. In my work, I collaborate closely with artists, historians, conservation experts, and educators, whether it is restoring an ancient object, curating a groundbreaking exhibit, or designing interactive art experiences for the public. I see every project as a chance to inspire curiosity and connection. My passion lies in making art accessible to everyone. I believe that museums and galleries should be open doors into culture, not intimidating spaces, but welcoming ones where people feel part of the myriad narrative, no matter their background. So, as we begin this journey through the world of art together, I invite you to observe deeply, ask questions, and let your imagination explore. Art speaks of who are willing to listen. Thank you, and I look forward to sharing more with you today. Let's go. The Temple of the Endur, its origins, history, and current home at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Metropolitan. Its origins are in Nubia and Egypt around 15 to 10 BC. The Temple of the Endur was built in Nubia, southern Egypt, on the west bank of the Nile River. Constructed in the late 1st century BC under Roman rule, the temple is dedicated to the Egyptian goddess Isis. Architecturally, the temple is remarkable modest. Its design once passes through massive gateway then enters an open courtyard. And finally, the temple building itself. The portico, entrees, the antechamber, offering hall, and the sanctuary. There are reliefs both inside and out. For example, Emperor Augustus depicted the Egyptian style as a pharaoh offering sacrifices to Isis and other deities. Thus, the temple reflects a blend of Egyptian religious traditions and the symbolism of Roman political power. Augustus was allied with the Egyptian authorities in one of the provinces of southern Egypt, Nubia. Over the centuries, the area and the temple's surroundings changed. Its original mud brick walls no longer stand in their entirety. In appreciation of the United States support in saving the Nubian monuments, Egypt gifted the Temple of Delmore to the United States on April 28, 1967. President Lyndon Johnson formally accepted the gift. A competition dubbed the Delmore competition by the press was held among American institutions to select a host for the temple. Ultimately, the Metropolitan Museum of Art was chosen. Due to its ability to provide the controlled interior conditions required by the sandstone structure, the block 661 cranes weighing approximately 640 tons arrived in New York by sea, August 1968. Reconstruction of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, 1978. Architectural and artistic futurist lotus papyrus motifs symbolizing the Nile, winged sun. These motifs above the face, a blend of Egyptian and Roman elements. The original sandstone structure adapted to the museum environment features a reflecting pool and a glass wall to allow light in. Reminiscent of Nubia, the reflecting pool in front of the temple reflects both the building and natural light, creating a contemplative atmosphere.
Behind me, through VR, the world of Tutankhamun awakens, a world shaped by life, commanded by rule, guarded by treasures, and eternalized by fame. Tutankhamun lived briefly, yet ruled with a presence that echoes through thousands of years. His treasures were not just gold, they were symbols of belief, power, and the mystery of the afterlife, and his fame, unexpected, unstoppable, has transformed him into the most iconic pharaoh the world has ever known. Now, we explore how life begins, rule defines, tracers speak, and fame remembers. Journey into Tutankhamun's legacy starts now. Meet Tutankhamun, the teenage pharaoh, who became the most famous king in history by accident. He ruled Egypt at just 9 years old, restored the old gods, and died before turning 20. His small rush tomb stayed hidden for over 3,000 years until 1922, when archaeologists opened it and found over 5,000 treasures, including that iconic gold mask. Tutankhamun wasn't a great ruler, but his tomb became the greatest archaeological discovery ever. Thanks for watching.